Caption Close Roland, NC. AP, in Robeson County, North Carolina, the most diverse rural county in America, many often remark at how well residents have overcome the scars of slavery and segregation to get along. The community once was a manufacturing powerhouse dotted with textile factories that have mostly closed up and moved overseas. Last November, it flipped from voting reliably Democratic in presidential elections and backed Donald Trump. Now some in the county are divided over racial equality, nationalism, and Trump's comments on Muslims and minorities. Many African Americans in Robeson worry the country is veering in the wrong direction, and point to the president's racially tinged tweets and rhetoric. But many of Trump's supporters think the criticism is overblown or misplaced, and stand behind him and his pledge to revitalize struggling communities. Here are some of the voices from a pro-Trump place whose population is split among African Americans, Native Americans, and whites. _____ Just think before you tweet, Mr. Trump. The sun is just starting to peek through the windows, and Betty Pittman already has been working 4 hours punching orders into the register, refilling coffee cup after coffee cup, occasionally trying to keep her employees from delving too far into the goings-on in the national news. She likes to keep the conversation positive in her diner. The day before, she worked 15 hours in this restaurant she bought after the factories she'd toiled in for decades closed up and moved overseas due to NAFTA. The 66-year-old probably has another 15-hour day ahead again today, and still she doesn't make nearly as much as she did before the plants went away. That's why, after twice voting for Barack Obama, Pittman became a Donald Trump supporter. She'd felt something shifting in this county that for generations was one of the most reliably Democratic in the country. Usually customers sit up at her counter and give their take on the news of the day. But as the campaign drew to a close last fall, people were unusually quiet. When she went to the polls, she demonstrates with a laugh, everyone was covering up their ballots, glancing over their shoulders so no one could see which candidate they were marking. She guessed they were voting for Trump and didn't want to admit it. A grandmother of 3 teens, Pittman, too, was hesitant, especially after the recording surfaced in which Trump bragged about groping women. But he promised to bring jobs back to communities like hers, along with a lost American spirit. His fingers react faster than his brain does. But he's got good intentions, she says. Just think before you tweet, Mr. Trump. This workday is near the end of the month, when those on fixed incomes are scraping to get by until their next check comes in. Pittman knows the routine. People chose to eat either breakfast or lunch, because they can't afford both. She could make more money if she charged more, but she knows most of her customers by face and, many, by which factory they used to work in and how their lives unspooled after they closed down. It's traumatic to have your jobs go away.